Hey, Kingdom Real Estate Investors, what's up? This is Ellis Hammond. Hey, I want to do or have this idea of kind of doing some more solo shows. Just a lot of the business lessons, real estate investing lessons that I'm learning, and even kind of spiritual lessons that I'm going through. I think this would be a really cool addition to the podcast, along with the one-on-one shows that we're going to be doing, the interview shows that we'll continue to do that I know that you love and enjoy. And so if you like this kind of stuff, please, leave me a comment or leave a review down below and let me know your thoughts, or let me know on Instagram or LinkedIn about how you're enjoying these type of episodes. But as the title suggests, I did get into jiu-jitsu recently. It was short-lived, however. But I'm 32 now, and I started wearing a whoop band. And if you're and it honestly has been a shock to just kind of my daily rhythms, routines. And I also, got a health coach this year just to kind of help me think about, really just kind of dive into all that's going on in my health. Not that I'm in bad health, but I want to have great health and I want longevity. And so me and my wife got serious this year about just kind of making sure that, as we're going through our 30s, we're really optimizing, that we're living our best lives in terms of health-wise. And so I started wearing a whoop. And what my health coach pointed out is like, Ellis, you have very little high strain throughout your weeks, and coming from, I was a collegiate athlete, so I've been working out my whole life. It's not like I'm not working out. I'm going to the gym almost every day, doing weight training, doing cardio, but the whoop has been very, it's helped me realize that my strain, like my high strain, I don't have many of those type of activities throughout my week. And she was like, hey, you need to get this up. I'm like, well, how do I do that? And so I started trying to work out harder. I'd ride the bike, I'd hit the stair climber, and still like I wasn't able to kind of get past that high threshold. I'm like, all right, so what do I got to do to kind of switch this up? And I had this great idea. I thought of like, all right, let me try something really active. Like I've been wanting to maybe do something like wrestling or boxing or jujitsu. And so I started doing my research. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go do jujitsu. Like, this looks cool. Like, how awesome would it be to be able to like choke somebody out, like if I needed to, whatever it is. And so I go find this jujitsu place in San Diego. It's actually the same place that Jocko Willing leads. And I went and looked at a class first. I'm like, all right, let me go check this out first. And so I did it. I'm looking at these, and there's guys of all sizes in here, girls, guys too, right? And they're in there. I'm like, all right. And this one guy, a lot smaller than me, he came up and chatted with me. He's like, hey, you can do this. I'm like, okay. So I get signed up and I go in the next week. So they're like, all right, warm up. And I'm like, well, what do you mean warm up? Like, I've never been here. And there's not like a whole lot of coaching up front. They're like, yeah, just get warmed up. And so I'm just kind of like what they would call rolling with guys. Okay. I'm just rolling with guys. And so like we're kind of like grappling and wrestling a little bit, and it really is kicking my butt. And I start to wrestle with this one guy who's so much smaller than me. And I'm not kidding. Within like 30 seconds, he had me pinned. And he had me pinned. He did a chokehold. He did an arm bar. He did a leg something. I don't even know all the moves. Like, I didn't even know how to defend myself, guys. This is the first time I'm walking in. This guy is making me look silly. We're talking about a D1 athlete, worked out my whole life, very fit. Okay, and here's this guy. I'm 185 pounds today. This guy's probably 140 soaking wet, absolutely destroying me. And so I want to talk about the day. I literally did break my rib, actually. I was going through, we were kind of later on the workout. I was wrestling with a guy much bigger. He also didn't know what he was doing. Okay, this is what I learned in jiu-jitsu. Don't wrestle someone bigger than you who also doesn't know what they're doing. And he just, honestly, we were wrestling, and I think he just laid on me. And I don't know if I broke my rib, but I significantly have bruised my rib up to this point. And so I gotta figure out how I learned some protection moves. So if you're into jiu-jitsu, let me know, and maybe you can help me with that. Send me some YouTube videos. I'm not giving up. I'm going back. But this is the lesson that I learned, and I actually do have a point in this podcast today. And I want to go back to that smaller guy who absolutely kicked my butt. And I forget his name, but kudos to him. And he had been doing jiu-jitsu now for 6 years. And so he knew the moves. He knew exactly what position to put me in. He knew how to take my strength and turn that to his own advantage, right? And what I was trying to force on him, he would just let it slip and then turn back on me, right? He knew exactly how to leverage my body, what position to put his body in. Because in jiu-jitsu, it's really not about strength, right? It's one thing I'm learning. It's not about strength at all. It's about positioning. It's about using the momentum of the body to submit someone. And so it has a lot less to do with strength and a lot more to do with maneuverability and kind of leveraging the body and even sometimes leveraging the strength that I'm using to then turn that back on me. Oh, I wasn't thinking about all of this in the midst of me being, choked out, literally being choked out. But as I have had a lot of time to recover since my first jiu-jitsu class from my broken rib, I began to realize like this is a lot like my business journey. And I think this will be relevant for many of you in that jiu-jitsu is hard, and it's going to take time. I'm not going to learn everything in one course. In fact, I got to go back and learn the basics. I got to go learn blocking, how to protect myself. I think I went in there figuring out I'm just going to go choke everybody out. And what I realized is no, I need to learn the basics, how to just protect myself. I don't want to break. I want to get better, but in order to do that, I can't break any more ribs, right? So I got to go learn the basics of just how do I block? How do I position my body so that I don't get choked out? And in business early on, it was the same thing. Guys, I struggled with sales so much coming from a missionary, even though, you could say there's some type of kind of sales approach in being an evangelist and being a missionary. Closing hardcore sales is a lot different. And I remember the first 2 years in business, we have, our education company. I really, really struggled with sales. In fact, I remember being so frustrated, about a year and a half in, because I had this, I believe Kingdom REI can help a ton of Christian real estate investors either break in or scale their business because we're getting results, we're helping people. But then I would get on these sales calls with people, about our community, and, I would begin to share with them what I'm doing, and they wouldn't take me up on the offer. And I just remember thinking man, we have something so good, but I'm failing to communicate. I'm failing to bring people to a decision-making moment. And it's not that, my product isn't good. It's that I'm not good at communicating. And so I remember having to go learn the basics of sales, having to go learn the basics of writing a sales script that I could follow, going to learn what questions I should even be asking to draw out pain points from my clients so that I could figure out how to solve those pain points from the product that I'm offering. And business it is this, it is one of those things that, like that young man who'd been in jiu-jitsu for 6 years and made someone much stronger, much bigger than him look silly. This is also the lesson I'm learning in business. Being several years in now, I've learned a lot, but a lot more to go. And a lot of, I think, the frustrations I have in my day-to-day business is it gave me perspective to realize, Ellis, you're still learning blocking and tackling, right? A lot of the things that are difficult for you today, you have to learn. You can't shortcut the process because this is how you become a master at your craft. And I want to give you that perspective because I'm getting that perspective that if you're really committed to being successful, you want to be a successful entrepreneur, a successful real estate investor, commit to just being a master. And it is going to be hard. When you come up against something that feels like a hurdle or you don't know how to do something, don't be discouraged by that. Take that on as, hey, this is the next level in the game that I got to go complete, right? I got to go learn sales. I have to go learn marketing. Today, I'm in where I'm at today with this is people. This is the next level for me. It's finding the right people to execute my vision. Now that I'm confident in what will work and what won't work, I'm at the position now is who can I go find that I trust that will be able to go execute on my vision? And let me say that takes time. In the beginning, when I'm building our real estate company, we're originally raising funds or we're looking at deals and figuring out, hey, what deals work, what deals don't, or in our mastermind education company, what's going to work from a product standpoint or what's going to work from a marketing standpoint. To be honest, in the beginning, you don't know because you haven't tested enough. You truly have no idea. And so at the beginning, that was me. I'm the one doing the work. I'm the one having to go there and, and spend the hours on the kind of, I would say, more hourly wage type of things. Because to be honest with you, I couldn't put anybody in that seat because I truly didn't know what to tell them. But I've grown in that. I know what offers will gain traction. I know what marketing messages will hit and won't hit. And so for me, that next level is people. And to be honest with you, it is kind of scary. It is kind of scary. It's learning how to hire, how to recruit, how to find the right people who align with your vision that you can trust. And it still feels like a hurdle. I'm putting people around me like consultants who can help me kind of navigate through this process. And I know that in a year or 2 years from now, because my vision, my goal is to have and build big teams, right? That can, help get my message and get my mission out to the world of helping hundreds and thousands of Christians across the country really invest in real estate, get financial freedom through real estate, be able to live out their mission of what God is calling them when they have margin of time and a margin of money. And so, a year, 2 years from now, this whole people thing will probably feel a lot easier, but today it doesn't, because I'm just going through it. But it's the next level for me. It is the next level in the game. I have to go master this, right? And I realize I can't be the level of entrepreneur I want to be until I go learn how to master recruiting, hiring, leading, leadership. Short story for you is ask, what level are you at today? What are the hurdles for you in business? What are the hurdles either in knowledge or skill wise that are keeping you from going to the next level? And instead of trying to put those off, realize that you have to overcome those in order to become the master entrepreneur, the master investor, right? The master jiu-jitsu person that you want to become. And so listen, guys, if you want to learn how to grow your real estate business, if you're serious about either learning how to break into commercial real estate deals, you've never done that, or maybe you've bought one or two houses, you're playing, a little bit smaller, you're doing duplex, triplex route, you realize that's just, I want to go bigger. Or you're someone who, you're active in real estate and you want to go to the next level. You want to surround yourself with a like-minded community of faith-driven leaders. Guys, go to kingdomrei.com. We have a community for you. We've been building this for 3 years, of very successful entrepreneurs in this real estate investing space. And we actually have 2 programs now, kind of a beginning program. It's called the Accelerator, to really help you accelerate your journey into commercial real estate investing. And so maybe that's for several of you. And then we also have our mastermind community. And this is for folks who are really serious about growing and scaling their real estate companies, growing and scaling their real estate portfolios, and want to do that alongside of a Christian community in the world of real estate. And so go to kingdomrei.com to learn about that. You can send an application there and jump on a call with either myself or someone on our team. We'll be happy to chat with you. And so anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy this episode, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.